Have you ever noticed that some people in society seem perfectly content with simple answers? They seem content with the routines, with the certainty, and with doing things the way that they've always done things. On the other hand, there are also people who don't seem content with living like that. They seem that they're not able to let things go that easily. They oftentimes circle back to doubting, to questioning, and to the feeling that there must be more to understand. Nietzsche, he noticed this too. In his book, he wrote, "The great majority of men do not have an intellectual conscience." And while that may sound really harsh and even arrogant, he didn't really mean it that harsh, though. What he meant was most people, they don't feel the inner pressure to keep thinking further. And that difference can shape an entire way of life. By intellectual conscience, Nietzsche means the inner demand to think beyond the surface. It's the unease with half answers, the refusal to stop where things appear convenient or socially acceptable. Most people, he says, don't experience this. They're satisfied when something sounds plausible, or when it fits what everyone already believes. And in a way, that makes life lighter. Certainty brings order, and order brings predictability. And that's why the herd values it so much. But if you are a person that feels that inner drive to question things, to reflect, and to doubt things, that can make things hard. In societies that value clarity, that also value fixed roles, and oftentimes practicality, doubt and reflection are often mistaken for weakness. Nietzsche, he challenges that view. He suggests the weight of constant questioning is not a weakness. In fact, he says it's a form of courage. To live with an intellectual conscience is heavier. It strips away comfort. Nietzsche even writes, "He who has this conscience suffers." But he also has a privilege. He is compelled to seek. That restlessness is not a defect. It's a strength. The willingness to live without easy certainty and to carry the burden of thought. In today's world, this difference in people stands out even more. Today, we live in a culture of speed, a culture of productivity, of life hacks, efficiency, and instant clarity. And in that culture, people with an intellectual conscience, as Nietzsche says, feel out of place. Maybe they even feel unnecessary. But Nietzsche, he suggests the opposite. He says they are essential because without them there is no art, there is no philosophy, there is even no culture. There will only be a repetition of what the herd does. Long before he declares that God is dead, Nietzsche points to something smaller, but just as powerful. That those who can't rest with certainty, those compelled to keep thinking, are rare. Not as a weakness, but as a quiet form of strength. So if you sometimes feel out of step with the world, if you carry doubts that others don't really seem to have, Nietzsche already described that tension in this book. He calls this the intellectual conscience. He knew it was a heavy burden, but he also knew it was very valuable. And maybe in a world that prizes clarity and usefulness above all, that simple reminder is enough.